Coming in Hot is presented by Botano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan, who yet again is in an unidentified location.
I'm just bouncing between places, guys. But
are you on the run? What are you doing?
No, he's got to say where he is.
I'm at the Lake Oconee Ritz-Carlton, so it could be worse. It could be worse. I'm not on the run. I'm not on the lam. Yeah, 3 miles from my own house.
Well, we're still glad to have. We appreciate you taking time out of your vacation. So,
I'm here for you guys.
I'm just shocked, Bob, that you wouldn't take the Sens last night for the win, like Yorkie and I did.
What?
Wait a second. I think one of you did, but I made that bet full well knowing I was going to lose. I had a feeling they were going to win, but I didn't like it. I just didn't like the optics of it. So I regret it, and I will apologize to Sens fans for that one.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah, well,
it's a good.
I will say this: it took you about 15 minutes to make your mind up. When you finally did, you took the Leafs. It was so painful.
Listen, there was no reason that you take Ottawa, who has lost 5 straight on the road and was struggling with their goaltending and making saves. I will say though, in the last 2 games, their goalies have been fantastic. The save percentage is at a combined .914, I think, in the last 2 games. Jonas Corposalo deserves every bit of that last night.
Yep. I did my homework. As soon as you gave me that stat about Corposalo versus the Leafs, it was a slam dunk, in my opinion.
What was your record before last night, though?
I think I was treading water, maybe 1 game above 500. Awful.
Okay.
The Sennies,
you were 12-11.
Yeah, they're like. It's like you still really don't know what you're getting yet. Like, this team needs to get some practice under their belt, and until that really happens with the new coaching staff, it's pretty tough to tell what they're going to do because there's just been no practice time. So it was better. I still think I was saying this to Wally, Bob, before you jumped on. It's the one biggest change I've noticed is second periods. They're no longer awful. They're no longer awful in the second period. They're actually pretty good. And who knows? Like it's just so weird about hockey, right? It's like, why are you good in this period, not good in that period? For me to explain that, I have no idea. But they're better. They're good again last night in the second period, right?
There really is no explaining it. It just happens. It's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree, and I'm going to get to that in a sec.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, all right,
I disagree. I don't think it just happened. So let's take care of some business, and then we'll start talking about the Leafs game last night.
Business.
As always, this show proudly presented by Botano. Go to botano.ca, download the award-winning app. They are the 2023 EGR Award winner for both the Best Sportsbook Operator of the Year and Best In-Play Sports Operator. All kinds of different games to bet on, including obviously the NHL, the AHL as well, if you want to bet on the Belleville Sens, who also beat the Marlies just the other day. Botano, the game starts now.
And as always, our show is brought to you by our good friends at BEI, Branstrom Excavating, heavy civil general contractor in both the public and the private sectors. When planning your next project, consider BEI for your aggregate supply needs. You can find them at BranstromExcavating.com or at 613-432-1120. All things, everything you need: equipment rentals, custom crushing and screening, hot mix paving, concrete formwork. Slow down in construction zones. If you're part of the team, you get free Hockey Friday that I'm going to make my way up for eventually. So thank you to our friends at BEI for helping to shape the Ottawa Valley.
And by Battlegrounds Axe Throwing. It's safe, it's fun, it's great for a party event or just for something to do. It requires no practice. Come to Battlegrounds Axe Throwing Facility, 2615 Lancaster Road near the Science and Tech Museum. And the coaches will show you the ropes and show you how to hit the target safely. Fun for the family as well. Kids 12 and up can throw with a guardian. Book your parties now, your get-togethers, your date nights, whatever you want. Up until tomorrow, get 15% off up until December 29th. To find a location and to book your event, go to battlegrounds.com, BATL-grounds.com. Guarantee a good time at Battlegrounds Axe Throwing, where your safety is a priority. And by Charm Diamond Centers. Charm Diamond Centers, Charm Diamond Centers is proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Super knowledgeable. Not sure what to get? Go see the staff at Charm Diamond Centers. They will help you. Custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and unbeatable pricing policy. Holidays are here. Of course, Valentine's Day is coming up. Perfect time to check out the large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mine diamonds, and don't pay until 2025 for their instant in-store financing. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Okay, gentlemen. 4-2 win last night against the Leafs. Now, let's be honest. The Leafs probably carried the play. I think they owned a lot more of the territory in this one. But that doesn't matter when they hand out the points at the end of the night.
Nope. No pictures on a scorecard, right? So I do agree with your assessment. I think they tilted the ice a little more than Ottawa did, but you don't critique wins. I mean, we do. We're going to, but
hang on a sec. I got a whole show for us. Hang on.
I was gonna say, but they don't in the room. 2 points is 2 points, and I thought that the right guys came to play at the right time. That's the big thing. That's the guys scored big goals. Drake Batherson was phenomenal. I thought Stützle was pretty good. It's a really good road game. It's a really good road win. They played a good road game.
Yeah.
And the
how about the Drake, eh? How about the Drake? Give him some love yesterday, and he performs for us. I think that's maybe he just needs the good love, eh? Pat in the back, doesn't respond to the negativities. No, he's shooting the puck a lot, right? Like 4 shots last night. He's making timely plays, and that one goal, it looks like it's a routine goal where you go, but still. That middle lane drive is so important to score in the NHL and to just time it. You're there, right place. But yeah, it's the little plays he makes too. And he seems to be playing with more confidence. And this is a thing. When you bring in a new coach, there's going to be some guys that pick their games up. And he's a perfect example because he sees the opportunity of, hey, like I can elevate myself and make sure I'm the guy getting tapped on the shoulder late in the game, or I'm the go-to guy. But you know who I'm looking at right now? I'm going over this stat sheet right now. And I know he didn't score last night, Josh Norris. And the big thing with Jacques, and I'll tell you guys, he loves short shifts. Like he posts the shifts up on the wall after games the next day, and you see exactly what the shift lengths are. He didn't get any points, but Josh Norris played a prototypical Jacques game. 34-second shift length. Like that's going to be highlighted right there for Norris, and he's going to go see Jacques, and he's going to say, see, that's what I like there. Short shifts like that, 34 seconds. That's perfect. Good in the face-off dot. Like that's what you need out of Norris, right? Like everybody talks about being a goal scorer, but if he can turn himself into that two-way centerman, like that's what this team's dying for right now. They need a guy that can help shut down the other team down the middle because we don't have that guy right now. And
no. That job's not as sexy, eh? Like
it's not sexy.
People are going to be upset that he's not scoring 40 because he's making $8 million, and I understand that, but that's not what the team necessarily needs.
They don't need it.
5 to 35 goal scorer that is defensively reliable, that can move the puck north, that can be below the puck in the defensive zone. I thought he was good.
Bob, how big is he? How big is he?
Josh is pretty big. He's
off the ice. Like he's a strong guy, eh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's wiry. One of those guys. But you know what? I was laughing at the shift length. Getzlaf, Perry, and I used to do this all the time. We would take a couple 15-seconders, like early.
Get the average down?
Yeah, bring the average straight down. And then at the end of the game in the third period, we were well over a minute. But we would actually do it on purpose because we were like, Randy Carlisle is going to talk about this. Let's go have a quick little dally about and get out.
Get the average down?
Yeah.
It's and even I'm noticing like when there's little things that have changed. Like Claude Giroux just took face-offs under the previous regime for penalty. It was take the face-off on the penalty kill and change. Now they're using him. He's staying on the ice for the penalty kills, and well, they probably had to because PK was so bad. You got to change something. But that was a turning point in the game, right? That shorty, Claude brings it up. Yeah. Takes it down, and then terrible read by what's his name there, Nylander. He goes to Giroux, and that's why the Leafs are never going to win. It's just they're just oh my God, they make terrible.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. But he goes to Giroux. Giroux is like, here you go, backhand sauce, right on the stape, and then nice little shot. But man, he's been so. Giroux's just continued on with this new coaching staff. He was playing great before, still playing great.
Yeah, he made the turnover on the first goal against that ended up being. Was that Matthews or Nyes?
It went off Nyes' toe of his skate. Yeah,
that's a bad goal. Well,
he should have had that. Corpusalo should have had that. It didn't change direction enough. He was off his angle.
Yeah, I mean that was on the ground, right? Like that. There's no way that should ever go in. But G had committed the turnover there at the blue line that kind of led to all that. So he kind of more than made up for it on the shorthanded goal. But that's sometimes I used to hate playing against guys on the penalty kill that were also power play guys because they thought like you, right? They weren't thinking just defensively. They were reading plays that you were trying to make, and they had this. It's just a different, I guess, perception of reading the play that always bothered me playing against guys that played on the power play. That when they got the opportunity to do that, and that's exactly what G did there. He read that play, knocked that puck down, and right, that's. More than likely, a defensive-minded player is just getting that puck and it's going down the ice. That's what G gives you is that opportunity there.
Well, then he should have scored on the breakaway right after as well.
Yeah.
and the puck hopped. He played really well. But I will say that Corpusalo did make 30 straight stops after the first two goals, which was a little like when they scored those first two, and I think the second one is like 22, 23 seconds apart, maybe whatever it was. I'm like, this might get ugly.
Fellas, but I'm glad I didn't.
And people might think that it's boring talking about shift lengths, but like I'm telling you, that's one of the things he's going to be all over these guys for is shift lengths. It's like even Stützle, look at him, 40-second average last night. Usually Timmy's up at around 50, 53 average. Can't play that way.
He looked like I think the last couple of games he's looked like almost a different player. I shouldn't say different. He looks more energized, and it's because he's playing under 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like he looked so good last night with Drake and I think Tarasenko.
1944. Yeah, that's a good. That's still a ton of ice, Bob. Like if you're playing 1944 for a forward, that's a lot of ice, but it gives you more energy to be a 200-foot player.
I always found that was I could not agree. That was like the sweet spot. When you get over 20, you start to extend, you start to make mental mistakes. You cheat. Yes. Yeah. Great word. I always found like the sweet spot was 18, like just north of 18, just under 20 was where you wanted to be. Like that was when you felt like you were in the game. Cause you get down to 16 minutes, you kind of feel like you have to reinsert yourself all the time. Right.
Yes.
And that is
to me.
Yeah. It's. I mean, you can't not play him 20 minutes. He has to be right around that number, and he's got some jump right. You know, Drake on the goal that Drake beat like 4 guys up the ice. I think he's got some pop back right now. He's got some confidence, but like his skating looks better again. So that's a high ankle sprain that takes a year. I mean, I think he finally feels really good.
Yeah, must have had a good warm up last night.
I got the hips going. He was on fire in the soccer. Good touch.
Okay, so you brought up second periods just before we earlier on, and you said it's just a thing. I think Josh completely changed the mindset. I think that's why they outscored Toronto last night 2-0 in the second period. Right? We talked about them practicing line change. I think that this is a huge coaching decision that's changed the way that they're playing. Now, don't get me wrong. They're still not the greatest team on earth.
How come they're not getting off to a good start then? What's the mindset to start the game?
Explain that one to me. Travel. We're talking about the 27th here. They flew in, skated.
Oh, now it's the travel.
You tell. All right, Bob. You tell them.
You told me you were going to tell me why. You told me why there's going to be a better second period, and then you're telling me it's coaching. But
what? I just told you why it was a better second, and you're like, well, why didn't they get off to a better start? Well, then they would win 6-0 because they'd score 2 goals every game in the first, second, and third period. What are you talking about, Yorkie?
Well, you said coaching's because of the second period. What are they doing differently? Oh, so it's the travel. Both teams had the break. Come on.
I'm not discussing whether they're the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators second periods. I'm discussing Ottawa being a better second period team than they have been.
Yeah, Christmas is over. It's time to argue. Let's go.
Wait, they were better. They were better in the second one game out of. So I don't think we get to say that, but
they're pretty good.
No, I thought against Pittsburgh they were pretty good. Am I wrong?
Yeah, they had a good second against Pittsburgh. They had a good second against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I know. Wrong. So I played for DJ, and DJ is, again, you talk about this. DJ is a very good motivator, right? He comes in, he kind of rah-rahs you, and he gets you going. And it was easy to do for the first period. It's harder to do for the second period. And I think there was just a letdown. Like, he would come in, he would assess the first period, but you weren't getting the same energy as you were going out to start a game. That's kind of across the board, Yorkie, right?
Who's firing the boys up right now?
But I think Jocks has got to come in with his butterscotch and his Werther's Original and be on fire.
The Jacques coming in, he's going, don't worry about the results. Stick to the process. Short shifts. Manage the puck. And I don't know who someone's got to come in after and get the rah-rah. I don't think that's Alfie though. Is Jack doing that? It's got to be Ben Sexton, right? Ben Sexton's getting the boys.
I was going to say Ben Sexton, maybe.
Who's jumping around doing? Who's jumping around doing?
No? It's Jack Capuano. Okay, let's just move on.
It is not Cap. I love Cap. It is not Cap.
That's got to be one of the boys. Then one of the boys is doing. It's got to be.
Wait a second. Every time we would go in and ask if you guys talked in the first or what was said between periods, everybody goes, nothing was said. So now suddenly there's a speech every time, Yorkie?
Well, every team you need that one donkey in the room that says something funny before the game or just does. I used to play with this guy, you guys, Sheldon Kennedy in the minors, and Sheldon used to do something crazy before every game to get the boys fired up. Like all of a sudden you'd see him sprinting through the locker room. And we had the tape table in the middle of the thing, and everybody be waiting. He'd go 100 miles an hour and high jump the whole table on the run. Everybody would cheer, get fired up, like just something stupid like that, or some guy would come in. But usually, after the game, guys would do funny shit. But I don't know, Bob, who's the guy that you played with that get you guys fired up before the game like that? There's always one guy, isn't there, that just says, like Andre Waugh was great at stuff like that.
Yeah. Zach Smith.
Smitty to his no.
Coach Smitty.
You kind of had to let Smitty be on his own.
Grumpy? Was he grumpy before the game?
Wasn't grumpy, man, but that guy's got a lot of things happening, like at all times. I wish I could
really
Cam that. I would love to see him coach. I can't wait till a ref blows a call in front of him.
he's gonna snap
ballistic.
I'm gonna see if he's got some time to come on here.
We should. We'll have to get him on. But I'm trying to think. Like Pager to a degree, kind of just the way that Pager approached things and the way that he talked. He was a guy that would get you moving a little bit. Clarkey for the first year, but it's got to be a different guy at all times. Like somebody has to step up and say something when you need it.
Dion,
I think that most teams that I were on pretty well by committee.
Yeah. I always hated the guys that did it like because they're sucking up to the coach, like brown nosing, like they knew when the coach was going to come in, they'd time it perfectly. Come on, boys, big game tonight. Then the coach would go, "Oh, good job there, I get the guys going." That's like you see through those guys. There's always one or two of those, and those guys usually end up coaching.
Those are the guys that are when the coach is coming in at 8, at about 8:40, they sit down. They're like, "Boys, we got to be better." And you're like, "Oh,
gotta be better."
We get it.
It's a big game tonight. It's a big game, boy. It's a big game. Come on, boys.
So,
let's go.
Did Dion say much?
Yeah, Dion never shut up. Yeah. But Dion was good. I mean, he had been a captain, obviously, in Toronto for a long time. What he said held a lot of weight. He was good. He was really, really good for us during the playoffs and the way that he spoke.
Yeah.
Is that a calming?
Yeah, he had a good way to calm. Yeah. I would say that his demeanor was very, very important for us during that run.
What about Boro?
Oh, he never stops talking either. Boro was an 840. 840.
What's that? 840?
Yeah. When the coach comes in at 8, Boro was there at 8:40 talking.
Nice.
But,
at least you knew it was coming from the heart with him, though. Like it's coming from the heart with Boro.
Yeah. No, Boro was good. He was the same way. He always had a good pulse on the room. That's why I think he'll be very, very. I don't know exactly what his role is in Nashville, but I think he's very good for young players to have around.
Yeah,
he's just a guy to go talk to. I would love to see him in Ottawa doing that.
So
no, he'd be great.
I think he wanted to be in Ottawa. I think the former GM was a reason that he's not in Ottawa.
Well, there was a year-end meeting that did not go well between those two.
So anyway,
really? What happened?
So I would agree.
Let Borrow tell that story if he wants to.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm
can't tell that.
I'm not telling that.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of guys. It's one thing. Like there's a thing with smart people. Bring in people around them that are smart, just as smart or smarter, because they're not afraid of bringing in guys. Because everybody in this business thinks if they bring in smart people, like insecure guys, that they're going to like take their job or replace them. But the smart guys in the league are so secure with themselves. Like, hey, we want to win. I'm going to surround myself with all kinds of smart people. They're going to help this organization. And I'm like, quite honestly, Ottawa just didn't do that over that whole tenure. Like it's so true.
The Mann brothers no longer work for the Ottawa Senators.
And I'm nothing against those guys. Those guys are smart guys, but they're just. We all know there wasn't like that hockey ops department was so understaffed. Like he had everybody doing the job of. He had one guy doing the job of 3 guys. It was crazy.
Yes, there was a time. It was I don't know. It's probably 5 years ago or so. They would bring people into meetings who weren't part of hockey ops to fill chairs.
Yeah.
Is that true? There's no way.
Come on.
I'm telling you, I was told that from people that were in the meeting.
Yeah.
So you just have seat fillers in.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a seat filler?
Yeah. Why is the concession person here? Yes.
There weren't seat fillers. Come on.
I'm telling you right now, then they're lying to me, which would shock me because there was no need
fillers.
They had people in meetings that had no reason to be there.
I don't know. They're going to get built out the correct way, though. But I would just on Borrow. I think Borrow would be a very, very good resource to have. And I think he was in Ben Sexton's wedding, and they're best friends. Yeah. So that'd be nice. I don't know if I think Borrow wants to be behind the bench, but I think that he would be very good in the organization to have in hockey ops. Yeah.
I totally agree.
He ain't leaving Nashville. He's getting treated so well there. Barry Trotz
he just built a house in Manotick, or not Manotick, out by Eagle Creek.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's in. I know. I heard that.
He does love it here, though. He does love Nashville.
Yeah. So, let's not say that he's in Nashville and he's. I think there's a chance that maybe once his contract is done, he could be an Ottawa Senator.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But
American money's nice.
Just think of all the money you guys make. Same way. Way. I want to move on to Drake Batherson, but in order to do that, I have him shockingly, perhaps maybe as our hot performer, which is brought to you by DoorDash, of course. Double dash on DoorDash. You can order from multiple restaurants or stores in the same delivery without additional delivery fees, so everyone can get what they want when they need. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25. That's 25% off at $10 value and 0 delivery fees in your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code NATION25. Don't forget, NATION25 for 25% off your first order. Offer valid in Canada. Terms and conditions apply. Mr. December, Drake Batherson, another 2-goal game last night. Yes, in 13 games this December, he has 7 goals, 16 points, tied for first in goals, tied for second in assists. +7, by the way, for all those people that harp on his defensive game, which puts him tied for second. Points, he is first overall. Currently on a 3-game point streak.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, have you seen a difference in perhaps the way he plays under Jacques as opposed to under DJ?
No. No, I haven't. I think he's just hitting a stride right now. I think that I think that we've undervalued him tremendously. We've talked about this on our show a time. He's taken more beating for whatever reason, and it's ultimately because of the plus-minus. So I'm glad he's a +7 right now. But I think he's just hitting a stride. I think that things are clicking for him. He's very comfortable with where he's at in the lineup. Guys around him are playing well, and I think he's got some jump. Like, he just looks better. I don't think that's the coaching change. I think that Drake was ready to go. Like, he was on his way, and things are clicking right now. Man, he's got, like, that goal yesterday where he beats guys up the ice to get that rebound. The second one has no business going in, but that's when you're hot. That's what happens, right? That's how you find the way. But no, I think he's just figured something out for himself right now that that he's very comfortable with where he's at in the lineup, the guys around him, and I think he's utilizing his skill set way better than he has in the past.
A couple things. So 2 things on Drake, and we talked about him yesterday. Very timely, by the way, fellas. We pumped his tires a little bit yesterday, right before the game. The play that really stands out for me last night is that back check in the slot where he saves a goal. He comes back hard and weak side forward. And for people who know what that means, that's when you're in your own zone and it's the forward who's in front of the net. A lot of teams get scored on because that forward is not aware of the danger in front of the net. He lets this guy wide open. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys remember that play. He back checked right to the front of the net, tied the guy up. That was the goal. I think it was Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi was right in the crease, and he should have scored, but Drake tied his stick up and basically saved a goal. And you weren't, not that you weren't seeing those, well, you weren't really seeing those plays before. Like the defensive awareness, and that's what this coaching staff is really going to show in videos for their forwards is how do we get better and how do we create more offense and start winning? Plays like that, where you're aware of the dangerous areas on the ice, and that's just being aware, and Drake being hard on a stick. And then I've always loved this about his game, fellows, and we've talked about this many times about Drake. He makes guys around him better. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the definition of a player. I don't know what the right term is, but a guy that's a top 6 forward. You got to make guys around you. He's not, people will say he's one-dimensional. I disagree. He can make guys better, and he can also score. And now he can start working on that defensive game, which is going to get better. We saw it last night. So like I said, for me, he and Norris are the 2 biggest improved players since Jacques Martin's come in. And Branstrom, true. I know we don't have Branstrom on the sheet, but he's played really well too under Jacques Martin. But Drake I've always liked his game. Now he just needs help on the D zone and bring that game to the next level.
Yeah. So a couple of things, Yorkie. I just want to point out, like they moved Drake Batherson around the lineup, like he was everywhere. One day's the first line, then he's the third line. So I really like him. I know we have Stützle in the middle of Tkachuk and Giroux. I believe throughout that game last night, Stützle was with Tarasenko and Batherson, right? And they have been for 2 games, I feel like. I like Tarasenko with Batherson. Remember at the beginning of the year in training camp, we all said Tarasenko would be in that spot alongside perhaps Batherson or Giroux in that second line. We're finally getting to see this and how it's going to work. I like the setup of that line.
I think it's set. Yeah, I think they're settling into that top 6. Like, yeah, for whatever reason, actually, and Yorkie, you know this. It's not for whatever reason. Batherson's been the fall guy on lines. Mm-hmm. This line's not working. It's Batherson, but it's because he makes 4.8 as opposed to 8, so you can't piss him off the same way you can piss off, right? Like he's that guy. True. And
it's true.
He's also it's very hard to drive a line, right? Stützle can drive a line. Brady can drive a line. They just happen to be on the same line. It's very hard to drive a line. And I don't know that Batherson is a person that drives a line. I think that he's a guy that he gets moved the most because he's got more styles than most players. He's able to adapt a little bit better. That's why he's moving around. And I would love to just, like, you're starting to see it. I hope that this is the start of it, that he's got some stability. Like, he knows who he's going to be with. And he doesn't walk into the rink and be like, am I going to play 9 minutes or am I going to play 15? Right?
Well, that's
it's so important.
As a player, people wouldn't think this with NHL guys, but when that happens to you as a player, self-doubt creeps in. Mm-hmm. It's like, why am I getting moved again? What's going on? I must be doing something wrong. And then you start thinking about things instead of just going out and playing. And I know that's happened to me before. You just a little bit of self-doubt creeps in, but I go back to last year, and you remember last year that stretch of games they went on late in the season when they had to win. There was that Western road trip, and the games were like, whatever. I don't want to say it, but I'll say it. It was when they were playing meaningful games. Remember that? Meaningful games. So they had to go on the road trip, and certain guys stepped up, and they were playing their best hockey of the year in the meaningful games.
I just got to do this real quick. You know who didn't step up? The Cat.
Oh, the Cat was awful. The Cat was awful. As soon as it gets hard and the ice shrinks, you don't have that time and space. That's when I'm sorry, but when you're bigger and stronger, as long as you use that, it really stuck out. So I just remember that was the only time last year when you could really evaluate this team and say, okay, who's a good player when it gets hard? And Drake was one of those guys. That's what I remember. And that's because it's so tough to evaluate these guys from the last 3 or 4 years because they've never played with a lot of pressure. And that was pressure time. So now there's the pressure again. New coach comes in, you're fighting for your job, you're fighting, not your job, you're placed in the lineup of where you're going to be. So let's see, like, I don't want to say they're going to make the playoffs or they're so far out of it, but still, let's see what they do with these games in hand that are coming up. Like, they've got a lot of games in hand. They're going to play a ton of games coming up here. They need to win about 5 games in a row or go like 5-6 or whatever, 5-7. But I want to see who plays well over this next little time when they're still in this race.
Yeah, they need to run. You need to run. You have to rifle off 5-6 to get back. And is New Jersey next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did they go
New
down
Jersey
last
then
night?
Buffalo?
Did they go home or they?
There's the schedule.
The Devils? Let me quickly check.
Oh, yeah. You got New Jersey. Then
They were at home. They beat Columbus 4-3 in overtime.
Hey, how about Luke Hughes' goal last night?
I missed it. What was it like?
Was that? I think it was last night that he walked through everybody and
Yeah.
like it was. That kid can play. But anyway, neither here nor there. They need to. They absolutely need to. You have to rifle 5 or 6 to get back in the conversation here.
We don't have the. Are we able to look at January as well, Wally, or we don't have? Oh,
yeah, perfect.
Oh, boys. Okay. You got Van, you got Seattle, you got Edmonton.
Then they go out west though, like that Western. I know those teams. You got Vancouver, who's the best team in the league right now, but those other 3, right, all out of the playoffs. But still, that Western trip is always tough.
What and like coming back from Calgary to end in Buffalo? That's a horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific trip.
This schedule may be the worst I have ever seen Ottawa play in their history.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's amazing how many home games they still seem to have. Because I was like, they must not play anymore. Like,
man, how are you going to squeeze a rookie dinner in? When's this happening?
They did it.
They already did it.
Well, they must have done it in. I feel like they had an off day in Vegas, did they not? Back at the end of November. Gavin, can you put up the December schedule, please? I don't know if they had it in between that. They didn't skate.
No chance.
No, it's no time. Like that was like the first order of business when the schedule came out. I'd always pick when the rookie dinner was going to happen.
No, same here, buddy.
Okay, when are we doing this rookie dinner?
Do we get a night at the Roxy this year? Yeah. Oh no, okay.
You only picked the rookie dinner after your rookie year because that's the year you didn't want to pay.
Where was your rookie dinner, Yorkie?
It was
Buffalo.
Actually, I was a rookie in Detroit, and they didn't even do one that year because it was a lockout. It was we got locked. We got locked out until January, and we started the season up in January. Played a 50 game schedule.
Yeah,
and then I got traded. Yeah, then I got traded to Anaheim during that year, and then Anaheim had already done theirs. And then the next year there was controversy. Bob, I was at the dinner and everyone's like, "Who paid for the rookie dinner?" And guys were investigating, seeing who paid, who didn't, and they're trying to get me to pay for the rookie dinner in Anaheim. And I was in my like second year. I'm like, guys, I'm not a rookie anymore. I go, I can't help it. I just kind of slid between the cracks here. So I think I think I felt bad and I threw some money into the pot for
okay.
They shamed me into it. In Anaheim,
they cap it now though. It's capped at 5 now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, we would cap, and then we would go from the fine fund after that.
Salary cap on the rookie dinner.
Yeah.
Who put the most money in the fine fund?
Oh boy, for Ottawa, that's a good question.
I would say who put the most money on the board. We had a really good group. Clark. Kyle Turris was on the board quite a bit. I was on the board quite a bit. I'm Pager. Actually, Pager. No care in the world. He'll throw a 5 spot up there every night.
No way.
Yeah, Pager didn't give a shit. He's like, sure, let's go.
Wow, I love that.
That's good.
We always do like full board Saturdays, right? So everybody has to be on the board, and that was the only night that the minimum could go to 100, so that you would get every single player on there.
Full board
night. Yeah.
Which guy did you have to like razz the most? There's always that one guy, and then it becomes a running joke where he won't put money up, and you just got to stay on him until you finally break him down.
It's always the rich guys. Always the rich guys. I'll just say that.
That's why they're rich.
Yeah. Oh, you know who? I'm gonna give Dion credit, because Dion loved the board. He was the guy that was walking around the room going, "Did you play here at one point?" Like,
it's so good, right? The guys,
the girl in 5th grade.
Wally, guys go deep. Guys will, before you get to the rink, there'll be that guy there early at the rink, just scouring through the game notes, trying to find anything that connects a guy to the team you're playing against to get him on the board. Like any possible thing, like going through Wikipedia, everything. It's so good.
Yeah. So there was a guy that recently passed away a couple of years ago, Brad Joyelle. You know him well, Yorkie.
What a beautiful man.
He was a masseuse guy for the team, but he would know stuff. Everything. He would always be like, that guy played 3 games with that. Like, he just knew that kind of stuff and would always help with the money on the board.
Bob,
love those guys.
Brad, my God, rest his soul. What a great guy. He was in charge of all the pools. So he was a massage guy. So you'd go in, and he had in his back office there a list of the weekly pool, whether it was an NFL thing going on, PGA. He'd run everything. And then he would talk to the other team coming in to find out information about guys that could get them to put money on the board. It was so good.
All right, I want to move on to one more topic before we go. And Yorkie, you brought this up a couple of days ago, and I told you we would do a segment on it. So it's in today's Did You Know, which is brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's letting you win real food with your fantasy teams this year with Daily Face-Off and the Daily Face-Off Wendy's Survivor Pool. For those of you who smoke the competition, Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that will have you winning despite your lack of team building skills. Download the Wendy's app and score yourself 150 bonus reward points on your first order and grab a sweet victory from the mouthwatering jaws of defeat, along with some fresh, never frozen beef. Sign up to play Daily Face-Off to win prizes like spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's and the Wendy's app. That's at dailyfaceoff.com. Wendy's, we keep it fresh. Okay, so before we put up the Did You Know, Yorkie, you wanted to discuss block shots by the Sens and by forwards. Which forward on the Ottawa Senators is the all-time leading shot blocker? Now, keep in mind, they only started taking care of block shots since 05-06, which means Yorkie actually doesn't rate in block shots.
I'd be right up there too. Eating pucks.
So, gentlemen, and Bob, I'm going to even narrow it down. You played with this guy.
I was going to say, can you say that again?
So, which forward on the Ottawa Senators is the all-time franchise leader in block shots for forwards, not overall?
Bob played with him.
Played with this person?
Yeah.
Would it be? Is it Spez?
No. Had to play a lot of games.
The
Honey Badger?
All right, Gavin, are you ready? Let's unveil the most franchise in a season is held by Tom Pyatt, which should be 79 block shots.
In a season? Oh, you said a season.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. And on top of that is not Tom Pyatt, is it?
No. So hang on. There's 2 parts to the board. Okay. The Sens franchise record for most block shots in a season is 273, which is held by Anton Volchenkov in 06-07. Also, that year that's the second highest total in NHL history, as still to this day. 283 is the record. That, by the way, is Anton Volchenkov, Bobby.
Okay.
So Tom Pyatt, who whenever that name comes up, people are like, "Oh my God." Right?
That guy took a beating, and he didn't score. He wasn't going to score. I liked playing with Pye. You just knew what you're getting. The puck was going straight up the wall every single time.
Every time.
Yeah. And he was a great guy. Like a great guy. Never said a word. Never had any drama. Just went to the rink and went home, and I loved him.
Did guys tease him about being Guy's boy?
No, because he's so likable.
Yeah.
And he's so quiet. Like, he doesn't talk. I mean, you guys have both been around him to a degree. He doesn't talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just go, like, they put him next to me in the room, Guy, because he's like, I put Pie with you so you could try to talk to him. Like, get him engaged. And it did not work. But he's honestly just a great dude. He took a beating for the offense, and I get it. But we never said anything. It was obvious that Guy loved him for different reasons, but nobody ever said that to Pie.
The Yorkie, before we get to forwards and block shots, one last trivia question. Where does Bobby Ryan rank all time for the Ottawa Senators in block shots?
Ooh.
I want to say this. I'm pretty sneaky good at that.
So where do you think, by the way, you are ahead of Tom Pyatt. He's next on the list.
I got to be in fifth.
Yorkie, do you have a guess?
For Bob? I'll say Bob is coming in hot at number 4.
So Mike Fisher's number 1, Chris Kelly number 2, Pajot, then Mark Stone.
Oh, Stone.
Then Zach Smith, which is in 5.
Wow.
Alfie's in 6th.
Yep.
Bobby Ryan, 7th all-time block shots for the Ottawa Senators. I looked at that and I was like, that can't be.
I had a really good stick because I had like a long reach, right? Because something had to make up for the feet not working very well. So.
I was gonna say, or you also just kept using your hands.
Yeah. Either broke a finger or I was pretty good at getting a stick in the lane. I got to give myself a little credit.
All right. So Yorkie,
yes,
you wanted to talk about forwards and block shots this year. I will say the last 2 games, they have been so they had 28 against Pittsburgh total for the team, mind you.
Yeah.
And last night they had 24. The Ottawa Senators, when they block 22 or more shots this season, are 4-0.
There you go. Didn't that tie in nicely?
So what do you know? Like, have you noticed a difference in the last 2 games for the Ottawa Senators?
This is what I'm noticing with the way they're trying to play. When all the breakdowns they've had in the past in the D zone, when I'd go over and do some video and watch the games, the middle of the ice in the D zone, like the front of the net, there would be a gapping. It was like a huge open area where guys would just get pulled out of the middle of the ice and leave the middle of the ice wide open. They're doing a better job. I know they're still giving up a lot of shots, but they're doing a better job of clogging up that middle and getting some more layers in there. And when you do that, it's harder to get pucks to the net, so you can block more shots. Because if you're the point man, for example, you're trying to throw one through, there's some layers of guys. They still have to get better, as like their forward group as a whole needs to do a better job of getting in the lanes and blocking shots. That takes time. It takes video and going over it and making it a priority. Like the way the Senators were playing previously, it was get up the ice as fast as you can, stretch out the ice. And that's a fun system to play, but it makes your distance between your forwards and your D when you turn it over huge.
Right.
And then that's what Jock's going to try and do is tighten it up a little bit. And you saw last night in the third period, when they're coming out of their own zone after they would get the puck, guys are a lot closer together, and you're going to see a lot more 3-foot, 4-foot passes, it's an easier way to play instead of always stretching. You can still stretch it from time to time, but Ottawa was stretching it before when they didn't even have possession of the puck. They were just gone, Bob? Like gone.
Yeah, gone.
And you play that way and hope it's going, your success rate just goes down in the percentages. It's not good defensive hockey. So that's what I'm noticing, but they still have to get better. All their D2, like I said yesterday on the show, their D have to do a better job of identifying what type of shot the defenseman is going to take. And by that, I mean, if it's a slap shot, box out, get stick, floating wrister, block it. And by blocking it, you step in front of their forward and block it. You know who's doing a good job on D blocking shots is Bernard Docker. He had another 5 last night, and that's how you get a coach to start trusting you. You start eating a lot of pucks as a young guy, you're going to earn some trust. And 5 blocks for him last night, and that can be a forte for him. They got enough puck movers. They got enough Shabbats, Chykrins.
Yeah.
Branstrom's a puck mover. Zub. They need a guy that can eat pucks back there. And that could, if Docker commits to that, that could be a nice little role for him. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to do. Not a lot of guys want to do it.
Yeah, it is. The Bertuzzi's goal is a really, really good example of Branstrom being too small to play in that role sometimes. Like, that was just, I mean, how easy to Bertuzzi just flipped his hips around and put him on his back and then had a tap in, right? It's just hard. And that's a guy that's very good at it. He's a very good net front player, but I felt like he got exposed a little bit on that one. And there's just they need a puck eater, and they just need a little more size back there for me on that, especially in that role, 5'6". Like, but at this point too, like when you go to get guys with size, like you went and got Erica Branson, and it did not work out here because of the system, and now he's playing 20 minutes somewhere else, right? So it's
Braden Coburn.
Yeah. Now you want like those are the guys that would love to come in now to be exactly what they were supposed to be for DJ, but the system exposed them.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a perfect world, I know Branstrom lovers don't want to hear this. He needs to play on a team where he's on the power play. That's what he's good at. He's not a shot blocking shutdown 5'6" defenseman. And to him, he'll make more money if he goes somewhere and plays in his true role. Like he's playing. Like, this isn't what he grew up like. I'm sorry, but 5'8" guys aren't shot blocking 5'6" in this league anymore. Every single GM and hockey person you talk to that says one of the keys to having success in today's playoffs is you need big, long defensemen, especially in your 5'6" role. So in the best case scenario, Branstrom's playing I think he's playing really well right now. Yeah. He continues to play like this, and Ottawa's able to trade him at the trade deadline and get something back. That wasn't going to happen before because Pierre traded Stoner for him. So I'm not trading this guy. I'm going to give him a new contract and hopefully make myself look good. And that's not Branstrom's fault. Like, he's in a situation. I've said it so many times. Chykryn, Shabbat, Sanderson, you don't have a hope in hell of getting on the power play with those guys. They make too much money.
He's leaking money. Branstrom he's leaking money right now because he can run a power play.
Damn right he can. He's good on the power play. That's what he's good at. He's not a penalty kill guy. He's not a boxer outer. The guy's a puck mover on a shitty team. That's where he needs to go right now. A shitty team and play 23 minutes and get 40 to 50 points, and you'll start making $4 to $5 million.
I agree.
So what are you going to say, Bob? You're going to say something.
I was just trying, he needs to go. I was laughing at you. You're like, he needs to go to a shitty team to be good. But he's not, he's losing money and he knows it. And I was going to ask Wally, because you would know this. He's not been through a contract dispute where he's been able to go to free agency, right? He's been an RFA.
Yeah. No.
His first year at free agency, bye. He's leaving. Yeah.
Sorry, I got to correct myself. People are going to say, "Well, Ottawa's a shitty team." Yeah, they're a shitty team with
a different shitty team,
but with Chykryn, Sanderson, Shabbat, they have enough of that.
Yeah.
Eric Branstrom in the last 4 games has played 20 seconds on the power play.
Exactly. I know. This is not what this Branstrom is designed to do. So to Bob's point, he's doing the best he can, because when you're an undersized guy, you have to be technically perfect in your defensive game, because if you lose body position, if you lose stick on puck, a big guy can get away with that because he'll just put the hand out. Branstrom's going to get overpowered. It's just it's physics. It's just the way it is. But yeah, I would love to see him in the future on a team where it showcases, because he's a talented guy. I tell you what, I have 100% the guys that are Staios, those guys are saying why did we give this guy $2 million to be our 5'6" guy? This should have been dealt with. And again, nothing. He's a good player, but he's miscast here.
Yeah.
By the way, Jacob, sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, I agree. He's miscast. I think he's got more to give than he's getting to give. and he's not good at what they're asking him to do. I think he's very, very good. I think he's a very good puck moving. I don't know where you would put him. Like, who's got the worst power play in the league? Pittsburgh?
Oh, there's teams. You could put him in. Like, he'd be
It was Ottawa. It was Ottawa, I thought, at one point. Or it was close. I'll tell you in a sec. But it's Anaheim, maybe?
Anaheim just got Drysdale back, and he can run a PP.
You put him on maybe Detroit's second power play, like a team like that wants to play. Like
that's the worst defensive group I've ever seen in the NHL.
Detroit?
Horrendous.
Great spot for him. Great spot. And,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And Detroit
Allman running your second unit, like.
So imagine you put him on their second unit, and maybe like Detroit owes Ottawa won in the trade department here.
Did they fleece us?
Just a little.
So, Philly's the worst. St. Louis, Washington, Chicago, Calgary, Pittsburgh's 27th. Ottawa sits 23rd.
Chicago, another spot. Unless he's like, you watch him go back for pucks, he makes nice little escape moves. Like, he's great at breaking the puck, a great passer. But he needs to, like, you get on another team where you're playing 19 to 20 instead of the 12 to 15. It's big difference. Big difference. Yeah.
Jacob Bernard Docker, by the way, is first on the Ottawa Senators in blocks per game, 2 behind Jake Sanderson, who leads the team in block shots.
Yeah, I think he could. That'd be a nice role for him, like to fit himself into that.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? Like, you're a right-handed shot, so you're going to be valued. Because you have a Sanderson, a Shabbat, and a Chikrin, so you're going to find room if you're a right-handed shot that can do that. He can make a nice little penny for himself fitting into that role.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's what you have to do to break into the league full time, right? You have to find a different role.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, we have New Jersey coming up with the Hughes brothers coming to town. It'll be interesting to watch and see how this plays out. So we will get to I'm making you work more this week. We're back tomorrow, 9 a.m. We will do our lock of the day.
Wait, what?
Pardon?
So anyway, I got to go. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Don't be too excited, and we'll come up with some other stuff to chat about.
Are we actually here tomorrow morning?
You gonna be at the Ritz again, Bob?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be live from the Ritz. I'll bring headphones.
Hey.
I got a busy day, guys. I got stuff to do.
Why? What are you doing today?
We'll have a nice announcement for you guys tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. Bobby's got news. All right.
Hey, how good's the breakfast? You can have a Ritz-Carlton breakfast.
I'm gonna go down for some smoky eggs right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
I'll send you a picture of the spread, Yorkie.
The good life.
I'll go make my toast. Okay, boys.
Burnt toast. Correction. Burnt toast.
Burnt toast with peanut butter is fantastic.
That's it. That's awful. Oh.
We have to go through like a culinary adventure with this guy. Like, I want to eat what you eat for a day.
No, I'm not sure.
Burnt peanut butter toast. Yeah, Wally. Oh,
we're gonna do a poll. We're gonna have to do a poll online. I need to know. Burnt peanut butter toast is fantastic.
Do you put before we go, if you're having jelly, what kind of jelly is it?
Oh, it's homemade strawberry jam.
Okay.
Yeah, Wally's.
Well,
I guarantee you, Wally's a marmalade guy.
Just the orange peel.
Can I have my marmalade? Lisa, where's the marmalade, for God's sake? We're out of marmalade again.
I can see that.
No, that's not true at all.
Homemade jam I can get with. Okay. All
right, boys. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m.
See you tomorrow.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by Botano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.